Hey guys, welcome back to Admiral Reviews. So today I want to talk about the My Hero Academia new chapter, 125. This chapter is setting up for something crazy. And all out, crazy. So last chapter, when I said My Hero Academia was about to start getting great, you could already tell from this chapter it's going to get great. So last chapter, I was talking about how Izuku had a new goal, and Mirio, Mirio's about to be he's the top student at UA, and he's next in line to be number one. And Izuku wants to be number one, so that's his goal. So we're always in this series focusing on the heroes, All Might, worry about the UA students, what their progress is. But this chapter focused on villains, heavily on the villains. The League of Villains is recruiting new people, they're trying to expand. So way back, about 10 chapters ago, we had saw Twice, the guy who can duplicate himself. He had found this group of villains, and he was like, wow, these people, they're pretty dope, I think they would work in the League of Villains. So he recruited them, and we're picking up at this chapter. So the leader, his name is Overhaul, and they bring him to, not the headquarters, but they bring him to the base that, they're having a meeting, the League of Villains. So, they think they're recruiting Overhaul, but it comes to find out Overhaul mentions that he's from the Yakuza, and the Yakuza is actually a real gang in Japan. But in this world, the Yakuza faded out because when the heroes started to take over, there was no place for, organizations like that. But now, since, the fall of All For One, which we'll get into a second, the League of Villains, these organizations can now start to flourish again. So Overhaul mentions that, it wasn't that inspired him to start, building up his organization again. It wasn't All Might's falling, it was All For One's falling that made him decide to, get back into the crime and, start building up his organization. All Might may be the number one hero for heroes, but All For One is the number one villain. When he was active, he was controlling all of the underground world. Nobody, no villain stood on top All For One. And we focus so much in this series about the heroes that we never really focus about the underground world and what the hierarchy of the underground world is playing at the series. So when All For One went down, there was a big need for who's the next big villain, who's the next man on top. And the League of Villains recruited Overhaul and his crew, thinking that they were going to join them, but Overhaul mentions, no, I don't have plans, I didn't come here to join you. I came here because I need you. I want to be number one. I plan to, be the next new boss villain, and I need financial, capital. I need money to fund my organization, and you guys, you're apparently the hot topic, and I need you guys to bring investors into my organization. After Overhaul makes the statement, Shigaraki, he's not taking it. The story's been building up where he wants to take over All For One. All For One was his tutor, his mentor, and he wants to take over All For One's position as number one villain. So immediately, they're not agree. You can already tell these characters are not going to agree with each other. So one of these characters who, I don't know, I remember him in previous chapters, but I really don't remember him at all. His name was Kent, I don't know. And he has a magnetism quirk. And he pops up and he says, well, you know what, we're not here to join you, Overhaul. We brought you here to join us. And so they break out into a fight, and he got a few panels, but whatever they were trying to build character-wise, it got completely shut down because this man died really quick.
Rated M for mature.
They gave him like 4 panels before this man was completely decimated. So we get a preview of Overhaul's quirk, and apparently he was wearing gloves this whole time, and when he takes off the glove and he touches you, there's an explosion and you're basically wiped out.
Rated M for mature.
The Ken guy, one little touch and his whole upper torso was decimated. Nothing was there. And the guy he's a container, he puts you in a container and he's able to, he tried to attack him, and his arm got blown off with one touch.
Rated M for mature.
So Overhaul's quirk is kind of similar to Shigaraki's quirk. You know, Shigaraki, when he touches you with all 5 fingers, he's able to, you know, disintegrate anything he touches with all 5 fingers. But Overhaul just seems to be able, with one touch, be able to blow anything out, which is crazy. So after one of the League of Villains guys loses his arm, after the other guy got blown up, you know, Shigaraki comes in, and that's when Overhaul's crew pops through the door, and they come in gang style.
He fucking with my click.
All of them popping through the wall, and you know it becomes to a standstill between the League of Villains and Overhaul's crew. And Overhaul says, "Hey, I didn't really come here to, you know, start a big war or anything. I came here, you know, trying to advance what I believe is the next plan." So they're at a standstill, and Overhaul's like, "You know what? Calm down, man. I'll be back. Just call me when you're ready to calm and you're ready to talk." And so Overhaul's team leaves, and you know, Shigaraki, the League of Villains, you know, they kind of got the asses whooped in this chapter. But so yeah, that's the build up in this chapter. We kind of see the villain side of the story in this chapter and what the villains are doing. You know, a lot of character development that's about to come for Shigaraki, and also a rival for him on the villain side in Overhaul. You know, only one person can be number one, so which person do you choose? So, and then we end the chapter with a panel of Mirio and Izuku, and they're waiting for All Might, and All Might opens. He says, "We have some things to discuss," which I can only imagine leads to, you know, the internship process and, you know, progressing Izuku as a character and as a superhero. So we're gonna have to wait till next chapter to see that, but stuff is progressing really fast, and I like where this series is going with the material. But that's all I gotta say. You know, which villain do you think you see as being number one? Shigaraki or Overhaul? They're both kind of similar, but you know, what do you think? Who do you think is going to be number one? You know, if you like what I had to say, you know, please subscribe to the channel. You know, if you have anything you'd like to say to me, please put it down in the comments below. And if you like the video, please like it. And other than that, I gotta say, have a nice ass day.